Hi everybody, hope you're doing marvelously well. We're going to review a brand new plugin by Waves. It's the SSL EV2. Now, it must be said that I know SSLs fairly well. I mix on a 4000 and have owned this console for about 12 years now. And of course, made many records, not only on this console, but SSLs in America and of course back in the UK when I lived there. So this is going to be interesting. I have very high hopes for the Waves SSL plugin, the EV2, because their recent iterations, which they've done with the CLA Mix Hub, have been excellent and a massive step up from their original SSL plugins, which are now probably around 20 years old, 15 or 20 years old. What is unique about this is they've done this with full cooperation of SSL. So this is something they are jointly doing together. So let's check it out. So what I've done is I've got a track here by Pete Moroz. Pete, if you don't remember, was on The Voice. He was on one of the most recent iterations of The Voice. And I produced an album with him a few years ago. And this is one of the tracks off of it. It's a really fantastic track. It was recorded in my old studio, so in a really large live room with most of the band playing live. This is a perfect track for me to mix as though I was on an SSL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this track and I'm going to use the SSL plugin in the same way I would with the console to see if it reacts the same way. And of course, you can download the Multitracks. If you download the Multitracks, you can follow along with me. You can go and download the plugin and mix along with me. So here is the mix that I actually did on the console.
Open up your eyes and you will find
What a great singer.
it's a big old world and it's yours and it's mine. Open up your eyes.
Here's the drum sound. Love hearing the vocal bleed in there. What I would typically do is bust my kick on the console. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to mirror the kinds of things I would do. So here we go. Now I've got the kick summed together. I'm going to do the same moves and see what kind of results we get. Here's the channel out. That's what you want to engage. So dynamics to channel output or not. Let's play the kick. And I'm going to do some basic stuff. Now what I would normally do, believe it or not, is go to about 20. So I'm actually going to high pass, really, not quite 20, but up to there, because that allows me to then go in and grab around about 60 hertz here. And then boost the schnizzle out of it. Now there's a clip indicator on my console. I don't care if there's occasional light on. It's when it stays on, you start to hear it get a little spongy and not in a good way. But we've got a line control here. So for the purists out there, the people are going to say, it looks like it's distorting. It looks like it's clipping. Because we know, that's more important than what it sounds like. I'm going to bring the line amp down. And there's an occasional red light now, all of which is perfectly fine in my world. And you've got an in and an output on the meter here. That's cool. Okay, so the next place I would always go is about 350 on the console and cut. Looks like I've got two cut types of EQ here, brown or black. So I've got two types of EQ here. And if you look down the high and low pass here, when I click this button here, you'll see they change to black and brown. So when people say, which EQ do you like? Do you like the brown or the black? That's what they're talking about when they mean the brown or the black. The selection there. I'm going to stick with the brown. And you can mess around and see what you prefer the sound of. So it's ugly about that 350 area. Cutting quite a lot of it. And then typically I go to about 2.5-ish and boost that. Especially on a song like this, which is not like a rock kick. Let's bypass. Quite interesting how much that reducing that line ampers. Okay, let's bring the compressor in. So when I hit channel out, so it's moved to the end after the EQ. You can see, if you watch down here, listen obviously, but if you watch down here and watch me boost, quite dramatically there. See how much more compression is being had? That's what you want. That is the sound of the SSL. The EQ going into the compressor and then the compressor squashing it back down. And you don't hear a massive volume shift because there's auto gain functionality built into the classic SSL. And to be honest, it's a huge part of the sound. I'm going to bring these down. I've heard lots of people talk about like Crystal Allergy and being critical of like, oh, he's always boosting like the high end. Yeah, he's boosting the high end into the compression and it gives it that spankiness and excitement. It's not after compression, so it's not like just on the top, like super, super bright. He's boosting it and then the compressor's pushing it back down and it adds some excitement to it. So be very, very aware of that. If you want that SSL sound, that's the button you have to push. Now, you might not want it on every track, but it's a huge deal. And when I see people check out and demo SSL plugins and they're not using that function, I realize that they haven't had the SSL experience. So let's bypass. Bring it back in. That's cool. So what I've done once more is I've shaped the low end here. So I've done a little bit of high passing, and then I've done a lot of boost, a huge amount of boost at about 50 or 60 hertz around that area. And I've done quite a lot of cut at 350, and then I've done a decent amount of boost at about 2.5. If you wanted to be a bit more rock, you could get a bit more aggressive. Maybe you go 7K and boost that, but this is not obviously a heavy rock song. So let's go to the snare. So far, so good. This is sounding exactly like I wanted to. Channel out again. I'm going to go up to about 70 for my high passing. Go down to about 150. Give me some more body on the bottom of that snare. Again, I got the channel out. I'm actually going to bring the compression in earlier. Go to about 7K. So 7.25, 7-ish. Boost that. I might even go a little bit lower than that, like 5K. Bypass. Back in. Actually increasing the compression quite dramatically and digging it. I'm on the black at the moment. You could go between the black and the brown. You can mess around. The differences are subtle. So far, this feels like I'm using an SSL, and that's what we want. Okay, my overall drum bus. First thing I'm doing is actually bring some compression in. I like what it's doing with the kick. Bypass. Listen to that air it's bringing, that ooh, ooh. I'm really tempted just to do some generic over the top kind of EQ on it. So again, I'm going to bring in a little bit of high passing at about, here I am, I'm at 17. I'm not hearing that sponginess, even with the red lights. I know there's so many of you itching to go, but put the clip lights on. I know you're dying. Go on, do it. Just write it. Don't listen. Look at it. It's sounding good to me. It's sounding good. I'm doing a little 300-400 cut. Just for all of the people that just can't handle seeing the red light, I'm just going to cut a little bit on the line amp. Bring up the compression a little bit. So I bring that all the way down there. There's some of this, we watch our meters on an SSL kind of go bang at the beginning of the song and kind of do this and then finish. And there's something about the way that an SSL sort of naturally limits, just being pushed really, really hard. I love Neves. I had an 8058 for 10 years. Incredible console. But if my bus did this, it would go, especially on things like pianos. I remember mixing like Frey stuff, and every time Isaac would just crank down and go. So for me, it's like the SSL is a little bit more forgiving. As long as that red light's not staying on for long periods of time, that's when you start hearing it get kind of mushy. But at the moment, I'm digging it. We haven't touched the expander at the moment, or the gate. Sometimes I use that on the kick, but at the moment I haven't felt like I needed to. But why don't we do this? So we've got the drum bus now. I love it. Sounds great. I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to mute the original one. And now I'm going to a new one here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to parallel it. I've got the attack set. So it says fast attack. I've got it set on the normal. There we go. How good is that? Bypass. Now you got the spanky SSL that we all know and love. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put that underneath. Put the two together. Mute it. That's just the standard drum bus. That's with the two together. Again, here's the two together. Now you're seeing why we love SSLs? Two together is just great. You've got the body of one and a little spankiness of the other. And yeah, you can use a transient designer, but I just did it in seconds. Some of you will have noticed I didn't use the channel out feature on the drums. I could have, but I didn't. I was using it more as a global, because I've already done all the exaggerated EQ on the elements going into it there, and then I just did some adjustment. You can But that's actually a perfect example of the differentiation. I'll take the individual elements and go EQ channel out. And then when I bust them together, I might do that. But hopefully I've already mixed the elements leading up to it in a more, precise manner. But try it. If you really want to exaggerate again, then try the channel out function. Now here's the overall bass sound. And I'm not doing anything clever to this. I haven't done any EQ to this at all. Typically what I would do is separate out the DI for the low end and then have the bass be the personality. But I'm leaving all of them pretty much coming straight out because I want to test the SSL here. So let's grab it. Let's have a listen. So the first thing I'm going to do is high pass a little higher. I'm not going to go as high as 60 on the bass, but I'm just going to get the low lows out of the way of the kick drum. You could even low pass. Could probably go about 4 or 5K. Because quite often for finger attack and buzz and stuff like that, I'll probably go about 3K. So I could come down 3K here on the high end. Quite dramatic, but yeah, there's about nice. And then you could go to about 1.5. Gives you a bit of kind of woodiness. And then maybe about 750, 800. Okay, and now let's do some really nice stuff. Let's go to about 80 to 100. Yeah, I've got it 88. There you go. Okay, let's engage some compression. I'm going to about 3 to 1. Channel out. So here I've got the channel out engaged on the bass. And what's important about engaging the channel out here is I want the bass to be really even sounding. So if I'm boosting excessive like low end, like this, like really going for it, and then some kind of like brightness here with the fingers and a bit of mid-range honkiness, these are like spiky areas. And now I want the compressor to go and stick them all down. Why? Because if they're all boosted up, especially the low end, the compressor will push them down and it will keep it even, keeping the low end super even. So that's why you engage, yes, you guessed it, channel out. Put the faster attack on. So with the faster attack, it's just grabbing it super quickly, but it could be good in this situation. But I'm actually bringing down the high mid boost and the mid range boost now. You can really hear that fast attack now has like leveled out the bass. It's not a keyboard bass, but it's pretty even. It's quite tasty. But I feel like I want more lows. Now I feel like it is where it's staying on. You can hear that sponginess, so that means I do have to bring down my level going in. That might be too much, but let's take a listen. I just brought the high passing down a little bit. In this instance, I didn't like the channel out working on there. I felt like the channel out was, because the low end was the main thing that was coming up and being compressed, it actually, I don't know, it actually didn't help. It lost the bloom and the roundness. So I took the channel out. So now it's EQing after compression. So let's just see how it benefits. Now it benefits from, to be honest, being compressed, not too aggressively. I'm pulling it back and then going into the EQ. But the EQ is quite aggressive, but it's also high pass. So it's like some low lows in there. It's gorgeous. This is my old Baldwin grand piano, played by Mr. Zach Ray. First thing I'm going to do, honestly, is compress it. Get rid of some of that attack. Listen to it with the faster attack time. That's compression. So I got faster attack, fastest release. Bypass. Back on. Kind of more of what it is. So I'm actually going to come up quite dramatically, probably 90 on the high passing. I do like a little bit of low lows. So I've got 115, but I'm also here at about 90, so I'm shaping the low end. Some high mids, some high end. Throw in the bass. No verbs on the piano or anything yet. Just the natural sound recorded in the room that day. So here's the acoustic. We'll listen to it in the track. I'm actually going to move it over to the left, out of the way of the hi-hat. I'm going to leave the attack time on the slower time, because I don't want it to crush it too much. I still want enough of the percussiveness. But I'm going to go to channel out, and I'm going to... Making it bright already is really helping. High pass all the way up to like over 100. Get out of the way of the low end of the piano. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a reverb, even though we're not talking about reverbs here. So here I have the vocal and the acoustic guitar going through the same reverb. And why don't we even put a little bit on the piano? We're really making this simple. This is a recorded live in a room, minimal amount of EQ compression. Now we've got some piano. So no EQ or compression on the vocal yet. So let's grab a channel.
Open up your eyes, and you will find
Some high passing on the vocal. Just some air that's got up to like... I'm going to go to like 10.
It's a big old
At the end of the day, Peter's a great singer. I'm not doing much. I'm boosting some high end. I'm doing an intercompression.
Open up your eyes, and you will find it's a big old world, and it's yours, and it's mine. Open up your eyes.
Channel out, so I'm boosting high end, pushing it into compression.
And you will find it's a big old world, and it's yours, and it's
Go to the verse.
Have you been to the bottom of the canyon, to the bottom of all alone? Did you ever stop to think there's a diamond in the
I'm tempted to just take the snare and fold that also into the reverb. We're ending up using just one reverb for everything.
Did you ever stop to think there's a diamond in the dirt below? It's all where you're looking. It's all in how you look. Is there a darkest mountain coming into view? If we take a little time and dare to climb, there's hope for me and you. It's on how you're looking. It's all in how you look. Is there a darkest mountain? You look. Is there a darkest mountain coming into view? If we take a little time and dare to climb, there's hope for me and you. It's all in how you're looking. It's all in how you look. Open up your eyes.
So mixing with the whole mix going and cutting the attack on the kick, we have enough.
It's a big
Exaggerating the EQ, actually turn the channel off, so now the compression is on the kick pre-EQ,
Open up your eyes.
which I think is working much better. Just the same way as it did with the bass. So I'm actually reducing the low-mid cut.
Have you got an ocean that you're crossing now? Is your compass all confused? Can you hear the wind? The storm clouds grabbing you. It's all how you're looking. It's all in how you look. Oh, if you take a little time and dare to climb, it's all in how you look. Open up your eyes, and you will find it's a big old world, yours and it's mine. Open up your eyes,
New mix.
find it's a big old world, and it's yours and it's mine. Open up your eyes, and the days turn into years. You've been wondering where you've
Honestly, there's more definition on the new mix. We can spend more time kind of getting in there and stuff, but yeah, It's pretty darn cool. Download the Multitracks. Go and try out the new plugin. This is, as I said earlier, has been done in association with SSL. I like this. I've been using the old original Waves 15 plus year old SSL plugin a lot. I think most of us do. Most professionals I know have that plugin and use it. And then when the CLA Mix Hub came along, I know a lot of like younger guys that were coming up like that plugin a lot. Not necessarily for using all the buckets, but just like the SSL emulation. So I think what they've done here is they've sort of gone and done that and then taken it to the next level. There's a lot of SSL emulations out there. The Waves one is a so-called, it's a standard that most people have. Some of the new ones are really, really good. I haven't done a shootout between them all yet. That's probably in the offing.
Your eyes, and you will find it's a big old world, and it's yours and it's mine. Open up your compass all confused. Can you hear the wind? The storm clouds grabbing you. It's all now you're looking. It's all in how you look.
I'm bringing down the snappy parallel bus a little bit. I'm bringing up the other one.
If you take a little time and dare to climb.
Rebalancing the drums a little bit.
It's all in how you look. Open up your
love that. Tambourine's great.
Open up your eyes. And the days turn into years. You've been wondering where you've been. When the key it is inside.
So here's the system usage. Let's play it. We've got, I don't know how many iterations, but we've got a bunch.
Your eyes.
Yeah, nothing. So we're at like 30%.
And you will
less. It's somewhere between 25 and 33. It's dancing around, obviously. We've got a whole bunch. We've got other plugins, and we've got the Abbey Road Chambers, which is, not really heavily CPU, but it is a very complex and amazing sounding chamber. So, yeah.
Your eyes. And you will find it's a...
Download it, try it for yourself. I think there's more definition in this mix. Now, I had more channels going through the SSL on the original. Here's the original.
Your eyes.
Sounds like the bass is overpowering it.
And you will find
kick is lost. Now we got this.
It's a big old world, and it's yours and it's mine.
I prefer what we're doing with the plugins. But, this was originally recorded in a beautiful room with a bunch of incredible musicians going through really, really beautiful gear. API console, BAE 1073s and 1272s. Lots of, everything was really world class. Mixing in the box using plugins is a perfect thing for a mix like this. So thanks ever so much. Thank you for watching. Please download the plugin for yourself and try it out for yourself and let me know what you think. Leave a bunch of comments and questions below. Thank you ever so much. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir. Speak to you all again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.